Hi everyone, it's the morning after the day before, and the day before was the Royal Commission report, and yeah, we've been waiting a long time for it after a year's worth of forensic analysis. Plenty in the media today, you can read all about it obviously, so I think I'll just focus on a couple of observations about the report. The first one would be the banks. I think most people will think the banks got off quite lightly. There's no recommendations around fundamental restructuring of that industry. There's no individual who's been specifically identified as being accountable for some of the horrible instances of poor conduct that we've seen. There's a little bit more compliance and regulation for them with regards to the increasing of powers to ASIC and APRA, both of whom have been noted as not performing to the level that would be expected. And so all in all, I reckon around the boardrooms this morning with the big banks, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief. Yes, Anna Blythe came out yesterday, who represents the industry of bankers, and said, you know, this is a really important day. We recognise the mistakes we've made, but I think behind closed doors they'll be thinking it could have been a lot worse. And one of the reasons it could have been a lot worse is my second observation, and obviously you'd expect me to talk about this, and that's the recommendations around mortgage broking. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I thought the last year was about analysing the performances of the big banks and AMP, etc. And there would have been no more than 5 minutes on mortgage broking. I think Aussie were invited in, who are owned by Commonwealth. Draw your own conclusions. And yet, the first question asked of the Treasurer after his statement was about mortgage broking. And the headlines yesterday were about mortgage broking, so I'm not quite sure why it is we ended up being the story. And so fundamentally what the recommendation is that they want to change the way in which these small businesses are remunerated and move away from commissions and towards a flat fee paid by the borrower, i.e. you. That doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because there's now a really great danger if these recommendations are implemented that only the wealthy are going to be able to afford to use a mortgage broker, because that's our source of income. And the thing about mortgage broking, and the reason why 60% of all borrowers now use mortgage brokers, so we've got the majority of the market share, and that's why the banks are scared, is that we encourage consumer choice. We are the shop window for everybody else. Yes, the big four have got their branch network, but what about all the other lenders? How are they able to articulate their offer? Well, they do it through the broking industry. So the second tier, the third tier lenders, and the rest of the market generally is absolutely reliant on the broking industry. And as a consequence, what's going to happen is that if fewer people use mortgage brokers, guess what? They're going to have to go straight to the banks. And guess what happens with the banks? Their market share increases, and it's a great day for the banks. So, yeah, I really hope some common sense prevails. If Labour get into power, and I think it's a given that they will, I can't believe that they would seek to make changes to an industry which could prevent some of their core voters being unable to afford to use mortgage brokers. We'll see. In the meantime, there's no change whatsoever. These changes are not due to be implemented with regard to some of the trailing commissions until next year, and certainly fee for service, the government's already said that we would maybe consider it or review it in 3 years' time. In the meantime, we're not going to do anything. So no change, okay? I hope that's clear. I'm always here. Have any questions regarding these comments or around your current loan structure, because brokers, we're here on an ongoing basis. It's not just about, as Hayne said, it's not just about the writing of the loan and disappearing. It's we're here throughout the term of your loan and going forward and through your life. Have a great rest of February. I'll go and have a quiet lie down now. Okay, bye.